Do you ever wish you can connect to people better? In this video, I'm going to share with you my process that I have developed over years of speaking to patients, speaking to people, consulting, doing consultations, and building rapport with patients and clients. I have developed some tips and tricks that I have found to be very helpful. So the number one thought process, the number one philosophy is to understand that you are coming from a place of service. You are not coming from a place of trying to make yourself seem important, trying to make yourself seem amazing or the best. You're not coming from an ego place. You're coming from a place of service. So if you're coming from a place of service, you have to figure out how you're going to serve the other person. So in order to figure out how you're going to serve the other person, you have to listen. So this is the critical step. This is a critical component. Active listening, deep listening, where you are not thinking about your response, you're not thinking about your next question, you're not thinking about how they might be perceiving you. Instead, you're deeply present in the moment, listening actively to what the other person has to say. And when you're listening, you're not just listening to the words that they're using, you're listening to their mood, you're picking up on the attitude, you're picking up on the emotions, you're picking up on the whole story that this other individual is sharing with you. Because it is a privilege and an honor to be in the position where you are able to listen to a story that someone is vulnerably sharing with you. So you want to listen to how it is that you can serve this other person. And then you want to ask the appropriate questions so that you can really understand and be on the same page. In this way, you're not only listening to how you can serve, but you're figuring out if your skill set and if what you have to offer is truly going to serve this person, this individual, and if it's going to meet their expectations. So you have to understand what their expectations are. And you also have the responsibility of communicating clearly what it is that you can provide. So you're setting the expectations. You're helping the other person have appropriate expectations for what it is that they're wanting and what it is that you can provide. And so then you can figure out, well, is this going to meet this individual's expectations, or do they need to seek a second opinion or seek out a different process? And so to review, we talked about coming from a place of service and actively listening, deeply listening, being very present in the moment and taking in the whole picture beyond just the words that the other person uses. And so another way that you can connect better with other people is to also be vulnerable yourself. So in the conversation, in the communication, if there is a space or if there is an appropriate window where it would be beneficial to the other person that you are seeking to serve, for you to be vulnerable and for you to also share, then that builds a trust, it builds a rapport, it builds a back and forth, a reciprocation of receiving and expressing. And the last thing I will say is, in addition to holding and creating this space of service and being fully grounded and present in the moment and fully attentive and listening actively to the individual, and also being open to be vulnerable yourself, the last important factor is to give enough time for all questions. So not only do you ask the individual what questions they might have, but you continue to ask, okay, what else? What else? Tell me more. Tell me more. A lot of the times, and I'm coming from the perspective of being in medicine, so in the medical field, a lot of the times we are pressed for time. We don't have enough time, or we're feeling rushed, to speak to this individual, then this one, then this one. I find that if you forget about the time, if possible, if you're in an environment where you can do that, and if you allow yourself to give your time, another act of service here is the giving of your time to this individual, and really making sure that they don't feel rushed, that they feel cared for, that they feel considered, that they feel like you are prioritizing them, and that you genuinely care about them. You care about their outcomes, you care about their emotions, you care about their life beyond what it is that they're coming to see you for. Then this space that's created allows the individual to really feel like you genuinely care, which you do. It doesn't make them feel rushed, and it starts to build a beautiful relationship where there is trust, there's consideration, there's care. And I do think this is why many of us got into the field of medicine, is to deeply serve people at a very high level. Specifically for me, I know that I chose the field of plastic surgery because it affects every area of an individual's life. So not only does it affect form and function, physical appearance, but this alteration or modification or improvement or enhancement, this work that we do, it translates into more confidence, uplifting the spirit, empowering the individual, which then translates into perhaps higher quality of life, higher quality of relationships, higher quality of career, finances, higher self-confidence, self-worth, whatever it is that changes or shifts internally, psychologically within the mindset, is really what I find to be an amazing, empowering aspect of the work that I do. And so it begins with the initial consultation. It begins with the initial encounter where I am able to explain what I can offer. I'm able to understand what the other person, the patient, the client is expecting, and we're able to get on the same page. I always use the example where I tell the person there's definitely an image in your head of what you're wanting, and so this is where we ask for wish pictures, where they can show pictures on their phone or send in pictures of what they want to look like, and then I can get an understanding of what image they're seeing in their mind of how they want to look, and then I can determine if it's possible based on their body type, based on the physiology, based on my skill set. Is this achievable? And if it is or if it isn't, then it's my responsibility to explain that. So this video started out with me kind of explaining how to really connect with another person, which I think connecting with people is extremely important when you're in a profession of service and serving people. And then I kind of went a little bit deeper into my personal experiences and my personal philosophy and mindset around it. So in a way, this video was also depicting exactly what it is that I'm sharing, where you start from a heart of service, wanting to serve, listening, and then being vulnerable and sharing and giving enough time where there is no feeling of being rushed. So if you enjoyed this video and if you would like more information along these lines, then feel free to leave a comment and ask any questions that you have. And I am happy to continue to share more of my personal process in the work that I do, and also continue to share about my thoughts and reflections and experiences with special needs empowerment and balancing life as a mother, wife, and surgeon. Thank you.